Welcome to the monthly Retro Game Review, where I'll be attempting to give you all the latest news in the world of the old. This month has seen a host of titles re-released, as well as a planned documentary that takes a look at the humble beginnings of British video games. We start with Sega, who don't usually take ages repackaging its titles, and this month proves to be no exception, with 4 Sega Vintage Collections being released on Xbox Live Arcade. First comes the Monster World Collection, which compiles the arcade version of Wonder Boy and Monsterland and the Mega Drive entries of Monster World 1 and 4. Second is Alex Kidd & Co., which, for reasons only known to Sega, puts together Alex Kidd in Miracle World from the Master System, the Mega Drive version of Shinobi, and the arcade iteration of Super Hang-On. Less random are the Streets of Rage and Golden Axe collections, which include the original trilogy of titles from both series. All 4 collections cost 800 points each, and PS3 owners can download some of the titles individually, but for ridiculously higher prices. The 3DS's eShop has seen 4 retro releases in May as well, which is a fair amount considering past barren months for the service. Kirby's Dream Land 2 is probably the pick of the bunch, largely as it costs a pretty penny to pick up a physical copy nowadays, so the £3.60 price tag for Game Boy titles doesn't seem quite as exploitative as usual. The fact it's a fun slice of old school platforming that's arguably better than the original helps as well. Game & Watch Gallery 2 has also been exhumed, and like its predecessor is an enjoyable compendium of classics that's well worth £3.60. Rayman is the 3rd eShop Virtual Console release, and is solidly assembled but noticeably pared down compared to the home console version. For £4.50 you can do a lot better. The final re-release of the 4 is Sega's Game Gear title Sonic Labyrinth, an isometric escapade for the spiny mammal. It may be a rare game to find in cartridge form nowadays, but couple its £4.50 price tag with its flawed gameplay, and this is one you might want to give a miss. In more affordable re-release news, a few Spectrum titles are making their way onto the App Store. Head Over Heels is the most notable, with the classic isometric adventure available to download for £1.49. The other games include Match Day 1 and 2, as well as International Match Day. Being released on June the 8th to coincide with the start of Euro 2012, this trio of football titles will cost you £1.49 all in. Revived more times than Dirk the Daring has been slain, Dragon's Lair has been dusted down yet again and brought to the Xbox Live Arcade. The 66th format the game has been released on, the justification for this latest port is that it boasts Kinect controls, which is hardly much to get excited about. For the 800 points it costs to download, you may as well buy a Don Bluth film instead. I'd recommend The Secret of Nim. The beloved Dreamcast graffiti-em-up Jet Set Radio has been announced to be skating its way onto the PS Vita. The Vita's camera and touchscreen will be used, and downloadable HD versions of the game are also scheduled for the PC, PS3 and Xbox 360. No release date has been given yet, but a playable version of the Vita game is expected to make an appearance at E3. Finally, this month also saw the launch of an ambitious attempt to revisit the very start of British gaming. A documentary called From Bedrooms to Billions, it aims to chronicle the British video game industry from 1979 to 1996. Needing $35,000 or £23,000 to get started, you can donate to the project by clicking on the link in this video's description. That's all for this time then, but please do join me for next month's Retro Game Review, where I'll be summarising all that's new in the world of the old.
I have to stay alive and write this article before I die.
Okay.